great, man. I've just been trying to warm up for this.
Oh hell yeah! Okay, so I'm glad that's great to hear. So with that, welcome to your first session. I hope you're excited.
Yeah, dude, it's great.
Fantastic. So I sent you a link to Fight Core, which is like one of our. Have you seen Fight Core before?
Not this one specifically, but I have like a different webpage with all this information.
Okay. So did you? So I'm curious then. So walk me through the Jigglypuff number pad question, because like you said 1476. So I'm just curious as to like if we take a look at our aerials, I'm curious as to like how we arrived there.
Well, now that I'm like looking at it directly for the back air, it's like it almost looks like it could go up into like the 7-1, but maybe that's just kind of how it feels. And you said there is no aerial drift, so that might have been a mistake on my end.
Yeah, so if you look at her like where it actually goes, it's basically right off to her side, right? So like as a comparison point, a move that I would consider that covers multiple boxes in the way that you're describing would be like to cover the top boxes, I would consider it more like Falcon Up Air.
True, yeah.
Because we see like it hits here. Honestly, it covers like the entire like top two rows, honestly, but like that's also why it's like, you know, the best up air in the game in my opinion. So with that in mind, what spots, without like thinking about the number, or actually using, now that we're seeing them here, is there any revisions you would make to like the numbers you picked?
I definitely would. I'd probably like take the 7 off and the 1 off, and I'd probably put one in for up air. Up air is like a strong Jigglypuff option. Like I have a
easy to die too. Instantly kills you at 18. Yeah, that's pretty good.
Yeah, and like I don't know how to feel. I don't know if I would include 2 because down air is kind of like a weird multi-hit.
If you have to question it, it's not oppressive.
That's true.
Yeah. Like, it's one of those options, it's like a tech move or something. Like, you know what I mean? It's like, yeah, it's like the 4th slot. It's like the filler slot on something where it's like, it could be a bunch of things. But, like, it happens to have niche utility, and it happens to be a decent move. But, like, we have to also put it in context. Like, what is a down air competing with? It's competing with, like, up airs, up tilts, back airs. Like, some of the most disjointed, powerful, like, anti-air moves in the game are, like, the ones that characters have, like, kind of above them or slightly above and in front of them. So, like, down air, this disjoint is not actually as impressive as it looks. And the fact that it's a multi-hit makes it a lot worse in some ways. Because it means that, like, trading is, like, so bad.
It's also, like, it's a lot of SDI opportunities where the other ones aren't, I feel.
Exactly. So, with that in mind, I have a question for you. Here's the $1 million question. Why do I have this question here?
Probably to just like gauge where I am at like spatial recognition and like
it's part
from like a theory perspective.
That's
just
part
like
of it. But... yeah.
I was just like how practiced I am in like the different aspects of thinking about the game.
But none of that, I see what you're saying, but let me posit something.
Sure.
None of that actually matters unless we can do something with it.
True.
So, if we were to like pull up a random match of Cody versus Hungrybox, like this one, perhaps, I think it stands to reason that like we would see some of these dynamics playing out in this game. So like remember, our given is that Jigglypuff is strong on the 4, 8, and 6. So that means that 7 and 9, the diagonals into her, and the 1, 2, 3, the spots below her, are open. So let's look at like how Cody look at how they're positioning and spacing in relation to each other, right? Hungrybox is basically trying to keep him aligned, like jump and like move in ways that keep him aligned with his 6 with his 4 here. Because that is how he does it, and Cody's solution is to try to play in the 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, he's going for 1 and 7 a lot.
Yep.
That's really interesting.
Yeah, because that's what it takes to beat Jigglypuff. Because she's the most durable she's one of the most durable characters in the game by because of her combo resistance and recovery, and then and then she's really explosive with off rest and like her rest setups, right? So you have to be winning neutral more often than not in order to beat Jigglypuff with basically any character. So the question becomes, how do we win neutral a lot? Well, you fight from the angles and positions where they don't really have anything, and this is how that plays out. Now, she's still a top tier because even though her kit is small, her air mobility, many jumps, and other perks give her lots of ways of trying to keep somebody aligned with those tools. But this is kind of like the dynamic of the matchup. Fox has all these different threats, and Jigglypuff has to kind of find a way to thread the needle between not getting caught by them too often, but also keeping trying to trap Fox into playing into one of her 3 strong numbers.
That makes a lot of sense. The way I would always approach it is I would kind of try to get into the 1 without realizing I was getting into the 1. I just kind of would see it as my back air hits there and she can't really hit me.
Mm-hmm.
But that's really interesting. That kind of completely changes how I think about it.
Yeah, and what gets really crazy. So so I feel as a Pokemon player, you probably know do you know how you might know mechanics a little better than some of the people I work with. Do you know how air to air and air to ground, aerial versus ground move or aerial versus aerial interactions are decided in this game?
Not off the top of my head. I know mostly in the context of Fox in the case of drilling someone in the air versus on the ground.
Okay, so I'm not talking about those. I'm actually talking about hitbox versus hitbox interactions. Whose move will defeat another person's move.
It's, to my knowledge, it's about is it the knockback number?
So, not quite. So you're actually thinking ground versus ground. So ground versus ground is the one that's determined by damage. That's the one with the clanking. But uniquely, air to air. Oh my God, that's loud. 1 second. Air to air and air to ground are not determined by that at all. The only thing that matters is whose hitbox makes contact with somebody first. So if we take this incredibly fair example that we're going to use here, what you'll notice here, and we're going to have Kirby no DI, and then he's going to back air, air escape back air.
Sure.
There. Yeah, this looks good. So, you'll notice we both had our moves out at that time. But the key here is that when my sword comes out, it makes contact with his body first, because it's just decided by there's no priority system or anything. It's just disjointedness. So what this means is, this is part of why Sheik, Falcon, and Marth are such strong characters, because with their high disjointed legs and or swords and or hands, what they wind up doing a lot of the time is just putting people above them in a spot where they have to come down in some way.
Yeah.
And then they just anti-air, effectively anti-air them to keep them in juggle state over and over and over and over again. It's also a big component of how a lot of characters defeat Luigi. Because he's forced to do something to defend himself, because the exchange is just decided by who makes contact first. He doesn't have a sword or something, so he has to kind of swing with his legs either early or fall into you, and then this puts a lot of pressure on him. So a lot of there's a lot of value, even as a character with low range, relatively low range like Fox, in learning in understanding your hitboxes and the opponents and where they lie on each other's bodies. So here's another one. So the Peach matchup. I bet you have probably seen, you fought Peach before, right?
Oh yeah.
Okay, so you've probably seen her narrative combos. But as you can see, that's actually not that hard of a move to beat. It takes some practice, just like anything. I haven't played Fox in probably 15 years, but it's still that's kind of how, that's part of why Cody, you might have seen him go for this kind of setup versus Marth and stuff. Yeah, this is why, because it's he has to fall on it. So he has to fall on it or jump, and then Fox is fast, so then he can act out of it. So it's like using the hitbox like system to our advantage in a way that gives us like better ways. Like it lets us follow up without necessarily needing to like true combo and still cover options in a relevant way.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah? What's interesting about it?
It's just like it feels like that's the complete version of what I was doing before. It feels like I was like using aspects of that, but I was like lost in the trees instead of like seeing the forest, you know what I mean?
Yeah, so what parts did you gravitate towards?
What'd you say?
What parts of the system did you gravitate towards? Because presumably there were parts of it that jived with you, like that you pursued, right?
Yeah, just like the ability to use the hitboxes to keep the combo going when it's not necessarily true, because I come in like everybody in my region either like plays a floaty or they play Fox basically.
Mm-hmm.
And all the Fox players always talk about like, you know, this isn't true, but they always say that like Fox has no true combos, and I feel like a lot of, and that's obviously an exaggeration, but a lot of that is using your tools in a way like that where you can exploit what they have to do and exploit those air-to-air mechanics.
Yeah, funnily enough, I actually wound up helping someone in the Marth Ditto because of this very concept. Because it's kind of like Marth is in the Marth Ditto. He is normally with Marth combos, you can kind of get away with them being imperfect because of like how his sword interacts with other people escaping combos. Like as long as you're like somewhat reasonably spaced, they usually don't have a move that comes out in like the 2 or 3 frames you give them between the hits that does anything relevant. But Marth uniquely is a character with as much range as Marth. So yeah, when he can actually get out of those because he can just fare back. So there's interesting dynamics that emerge in those when you have like, that's really I think like part of why the Marth Ditto, a lot of people hate it, because it's just So with that in mind, let's talk about what you wanted to get out of this, because like I think that's enough introduction. You said that you wanted to like improve your practice routine, you wanted to broaden the scope. So far I think we've done a little bit of the broadening the scope bit. Hell yeah. So I'm going to pass it to you then. What would you like, where would you like to start in terms of like formally working on something? And like can you tell me a bit more about what you had in mind? Or what your thoughts are?
Two things that are really escaping me despite a lot of practice going into them are properly timing ledge dashes. Like I know about the sound cue, and it's like still difficult to even simulate. Like sometimes I can get great ledge dashes, sometimes I just can't do anything, and it doesn't, I don't get like a tactile really feeling as to why that is.
Okay.
And the other one is understanding the feeling of timing STI.
Okay, got it. So I'm gonna ask you. You're at your computer, right? Can you open Uncle Punch?
Yeah.
Okay. So what I'm gonna ask we do is let me take like go to open Uncle Punch, pop into Ledge Dash training, and then share your screen with me so I can take a look. We'll go to the Battlefield for this.
Oh, Battlefield?
Yeah.
I usually do it on FD.
And then let's hit pause. Yeah, so like just like practice. So let me just see what you do. Let me see your form. So like we'll just unpause from here. This is fine. Okay.
So that I pressed back on the C stick instead of down, which I'm trying to press down and press jump a frame later. But like what I just did is the only way I can like ledge dash at all.
Okay, so here's what I'm gonna okay, good. So this is really good. And do you normally do your double jump refresh that way?
I also do that.
Let's stick to the Firefox one, just because it is overall a little bit better. So here's what we're gonna do. In addition to the Firefox stall, like we're not gonna do that right now. We're gonna try to learn something. So can you hit down and forward and let go of the edge while going forward?
Like that?
Yeah. Try to find where that spot is. That's a really important one, because the big thing with ledge dashing is we're trying to, like, eliminate... I'm going to actually send you an image so you can kind of see what we're doing. Give me 1 second so I can grab it.
Oh, wait, no, Oh. So this is... I'm assuming this is so I have to, like, adjust less from the down...
That is correct, but there's also additional things that I'm gonna blow your mind. I will blow your mind. Just give me a second to find the graphic, because I think that seeing is I think that it is useful to see these.
Definitely, because like I always try to like watch people do this, and I just like.
So this is a control stick map of like the ledge dash of like the coordinate map for like the ledge options and like ledge dashing. So then I'm going to send you like the plain one, which is just the coordinate map of like your options. So as you can see that there's an angle where we can get like ledge drop and then like ledge drop, right? But while going forward. So the key thing here is that there's two big components about ledge dashing that people usually get wrong. One, it's that they burn a lot of galint doing a complicated stick motion with letting go of the edge. In general, less is more. So we want to be like kind of consolidating the letting go and the going forward onto one input. This also makes it so that it's easier to time our double jump. Like here, try just doing like ledge drop forward into instant double jump. Like just try to get a hang of that timing. Okay, so remember, listen to the sound and time it based on that. So it's as soon as you hear him stop gasping.
Yeah.
And you're probably doing them together from the sounds of it.
Yeah.
That was better. Okay. So a little bit do the jump a little bit sooner after letting go. But the key here is getting the release timing down. And it's like gonna be, and remember, there's a range for it, so I would aim more downwards than forward. Because you want to aim more downwards than forwards, and then kind of like slide the stick forward, I find. Like.
Okay, so I'm looking at it. It's am I mistaken, or is the left side of the ledge drop fastball afterwards thing, is the left side encompassing less of the corner than the right side?
Yeah. It's not in the exact notch. So it's a little bit below it.
Interesting. I have like a spark plate. I don't know if that would be useful at all. Probably not, but like
let's just
have notches.
I think that let's just try to get the so what are you using right now? Are you using a spark plate controller?
Spark plate fob, yeah.
You could probably use like an if you can see where the minimum wave dash notches, like in between that and slightly in front of that one, I think would work. So like at the top, like basically at the bottom, like you know how at the bottom and the top there's like probably the Firefox notches, like those ones?
Yeah.
So I'm thinking like a little bit in front of the ones on the bottom, like on either side. And try to like look at where the double jump appears. So use the rings as your guide. Like use the rings in relation to the thing as your guide.
Oh, the rings.
Don't worry about getting like the edge release perfectly. Let's focus on consistency with the jump. Because it's okay if we burn like your Fox. It's okay if you burn a couple frames like letting go, because you have so much. Because his jump is so big, you have a lot of galint to work with. But like the one thing is like the edge release double jump, that's where you can get screwed. So let's try to like work on tightening that, just that, so that we get that. So like it's like boom boom.
So it's I want one frame apart.
Yeah, we'll say we want one frame apart. If it's fewer, that's okay. No, sorry, so one frame. If it's like 2 or 3, I'd say if it's up to 2 or 3, that's fine. So, that's pretty consistent. We're getting 3 a lot. That's 4. So we can go like slut
There's
2.
two.
Hell yeah. So how is this feeling compared to how you normally do it? Like, is this like sticking at all, or does it not? Is it still like not?
I like the forward and down a lot. That is like a part that's really clicking in my brain as something that would help me a lot, because I've been tapping down and then going to the angle, which does not feel entirely reasonable for a maneuver like this that needs to be done within one frame.
Correct. Like that is so. Before we had like Uncle Punch and stuff, that is how boomers like me learned it, and it's terrible. It is the worst. It is so bad. Like at that point, you might as well use back on the C stick or something, because like you're gonna be burning frames anyway and be inefficient about your fall. So you might as well at least like hedge and make sure you don't fast fall. But like yeah, but obviously all of this is like trivialized if we just go down and forward. There are certain risks that are still involved, but like. All in all, this is much better. So then the next thing we want to do is let's try to actually do a ledge dash with this method. And let's again, the goal here is, hey. I mean, yeah, you know what? One frame is enough for shine. Just saying. Yeah, let's do it. Let's do another one. Let's see if we can get like, I don't know. Let's see what we can do. What I'd recommend, though, is if you're going to do the double jump refresh, go low and sweet spot the edge.
Oh, okay.
Because it has to do with your character's ECB. So you want to be, like, perfectly aligned with, like... You want your double jump to, like, align basically its top with the ledge. Because when you're falling in this game, your character's ECB stretches. Because it's, like, traveling, like... And the faster you're falling, the more it goes. Oh, let's go, 10.
That's like 10's the best I've done like in general.
Nice. I bet you can beat your high score.
Yeah.
So air dodge a little sooner. And we want like to keep that angle somewhat sharp. Like we don't need like those long ones like 7. I would say between 40 and 58 or 40 and 60 is like pretty good for like a ledge dash range. There are pros and cons to the higher number. Like basically the more forward your air dodge is, the better it is at rescuing a bad like double jump, but like the less galint you get. So if you have like a lower number, you will get better galint. So air dodge angle number between like 42 and like 58, something like that. And then the lower numbers are better at getting galint. The higher numbers are better at like at being consistent. Yep. I'd also suggest, like, if you can, try to find a way to like comfortably hit that key angle when you're in your cliff weight, because you can't do anything during the 8 frames anyway. So it's like if you can find a way to like set yourself up for that, that's like super useful.
Wait, okay, this actually changes everything. Like this, I think this is exactly what I was missing. Like the fact that I wasn't doing one angle and was trying to do 2. I think that was completely messing me up, and because like before it felt like I couldn't even practice it, but now like obviously I'm not going to be able to do 15 galint day 1 off rip, right? But I feel like if I use this and practice it, I could actually see the results that I was looking for.
Ledge dashing is hard, and like ledge dashing is really hard, and it's, unless you watch Hax's like incredibly long video about it, it's like really hard to like glean a lot of the really critical information that's needed to like just have like there's no quick and dirty, there's no resource that has like quick and dirty like accurate information about this stuff. So I empathize with your frustration. There's a part of me that really just wants to like get off my ass and make a guide on a lot of this stuff, but it's like
I know, and like I went to my first major recently, and what I did there is every Fox player I played, I would be like, hey man, how'd you ledge dash like that? And they were all like more or less like, oh, I don't know, I just brute forced it for 9 years, and that made me like kind of depressed. But this seems like already it feels like if I just grinded this, I could get a lot better than I am currently.
Yeah. See, that's the thing about like melee players. Like we're so used to practicing that we like often like we dump like tons of like hours into doing it, but we never like, a lot of them don't question like, because it's not that like practice makes perfect, it's perfect practice makes perfect, right?
Yeah.
But like a lot of them don't really question the practice methods, but like I think that we make this game a lot harder than it needs to be a lot of the time.
Definitely.
Yeah. Out of curiosity, so one thing I'm noticing, I want you to try one, like, what button do you air dodge with?
I air dodge with L.
Okay. Okay, cool.
A plug.
Oh, you have a plug. Okay, got it. I don't know. I'm weird. I find that some actions I use both triggers for like my triggers are like assigned to different things, and they both have plugs. One small, one big. But like, I find sometimes there are ergonomic advantages, or like we wind up like there's certain things that are easier depending on which button I'm using. I would urge you to like just keep an open mind about the fact that there are button redundancies on the controller that can be quite useful. We don't need to get into like that in too much depth, but like I really do strongly encourage experimentation because I do think this is a fairly physical game. So if you're finding something isn't working, a lot of times I would say that form, like i.e. what your hands are doing, are a really good place to start looking for solutions if it's just like an execution thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's true. Like the only reason why I haven't considered using R is because I have one trigger plugged and one that's not, and R is the one that's not.
Okay. Gotcha. No worries. Again, like, I mean, like, I've had that set up before, so I get that there's, like, different roles that get assigned to different things based on, like, based on how we use them and how we, like, kind of, like, work with them. So that's fair. That's totally fine. But, like, one thing in particular that sometimes, like, shielding and wave dashing out of shield, and again, if you're using a trigger, like, I'm assuming.
I do use R for that.
Oh, hell yeah. Let's go.
Yeah. I think it's a lot easier to do that.
It is! I tell people, oh my god. Okay, sorry. I will go on forever with this, but, like, I felt this way in 2008 or 2007, and I was very vocal about it, and nobody listened to me. But it's fine.
No, it's totally true. It's, like, absolutely true.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so cool. So down forward is on the gray stick angle. Range ideally between 42 and 58. Note upper range is better at not SDing. Lower range gets more galint with ideal execution. And then aside from that, I would also say that like in practice, being mindful of how fast. Now, being mindful of Fox's motion as he exits the edge, i.e., watch and internalize how fast he moves coming off, and try to adjust your timings based on that. This will be easier if you give yourself some leniency with the cliff weight. So you aren't standing as much.
Yeah, because I'm just a little bit rusty, but I know that Fox, the first frame you do it is when his feet stop kicking back and when he's done gasping. That's when you'll get one frame of cliff weight, and I know that each frame you cut off is like an extra frame you'll get a galint later.
Right, but what I'm getting at is I try to like, so let's go on, like, turn the, like, pause and then turn the, auto reset off. So then hop on stage and do a wave dash. So what I do is, like, when I practice stuff like this, like, whether it's ledge dashing, wave dashing, whatever, I look at my character very closely and try to, like, internalize what it looks like, how long each step takes. So, like, it's not just that he's, like, no, it's not that I'm just doing jump, like, slide. It's that jump. I enter a jump squat for 3 frames. Then I, like, enter the air. At the same time that I go into the air, I am then doing the direction plus air dodge. So here, just, like, jump and then, like, on the first airborne frame, do air dodge. So, like, that is, like, right, perfect. So that is also, like, kind of my guideline for where Fox would be if he were to say, like, wave landing. So, like, here, hop up and wave land. So you see, like, but now, like, go above the platform and, like, air dodge, because you'll see he winds up being in the same location, right? So that is my guideline. Like, if he would be in that state, above a platform, that's kind of like one of my rules of thumb for knowing that I can do that there at that moment. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that does make sense.
Yeah, try it. Just fiddle around with it. Oh, smooth.
I think like I just like grinded movement for a super long time and not a whole lot else, honestly.
Gotcha.
Like, I can move okay,
but you see like why I'm like approaching it that like I've done there is a grinding component involved with movement and like execution. Like, don't get me wrong. You can't be like, you know, doing like pure like mindful like focused practice as a substitute for getting like that, for familiarizing your hands with things. Like that's real. But at the same time, like I do think that like this kind of perspective can help us understand what we're doing better, right?
definitely. It's practicing smarter.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like it augments it. It makes it like the time we spend in doing the grinding part a little bit more. It makes it more effective because we have like a frame of reference. The other cool thing is it also forces you to like think about what each step is doing, so that if you do run into execution problems, it's a lot easier to troubleshoot. So like I'm also trying to memorize how long his jump squat takes, or like how long his it takes for his like legs to stop moving when he grabs the edge. Like here, go grab the edge, and like just look at like what it looks like. Then we're gonna do it. So let's actually go on stage. Like we're just gonna ledge hop on stage, but like we'll see like how much. We'll see if we can get a better like. So yeah, 3 frames of fall. Let's try to get that down to like, yeah, that's 3. So we know we can go a little bit sooner than that. So this time let's just do a few ledge stalls, and each time just watch Fox. You don't have to turn auto reset off.
Oh, okay.
Because the idea here is we're getting used to doing this like in motion, like just you're getting used to doing this without like the pressure of that thing on us. And you can just tap out left or right to like go to the edge. Like left or right on the D-pad will take you to either edge, I believe.
Oh, right.
So you notice like there's like, so if we let go and then try to jump as soon as possible, and then grab and then land on stage with that, because I want to see like how close we can get. So we notice so that means 4 frames. So like if we know his jump squat is like takes 3, we want to act 1 Fox jump squat before that. With our double jump, I mean. Don't think about it. Just trust your hands. That's down. That you got down one. Got down one again. Okay. But you see and now like grab the edge and like look at Fox. Just look at Fox. Okay, so once you like try to like think about how long. So 8 frames would be 1 frame later than his up smash. So we want to like, so up smash, a dash JC up smash. On the same frame a dash JC up smash would hit, that's when we're letting go. That's a little faster. So yeah, like this is like, and I find that like thinking about too, hell yeah. So thinking about things like this, I think in terms of relativity helps us because we have a sense of like how long things certain actions take because we use them as part of our play. So if you can kind of use that as a frame of reference to like understand it from a different way as well, like again, like we have a lot of this information in our head already. We just need to like find ways to apply it.
No, definitely, because like I'm like #1 JC up smash fan, so that like really helped contextualize it for me.
Yeah. So I'm gonna actually add that to our takeaways because I think that this is useful for like getting more out of our practice. All right, so. I think that's enough on ledge dashing. As I'm making my note, what do you want to do next?
So I really would like to know some of the things that I'm missing with, like, just like, because it's the game, because it's what I encounter often. If I feel like if I can do the Fox SDI thing, then I should be able to take that feeling away into other situations.
Okay. So SDI to me is like a pretty... So SDI, what do you know about how you do SDI?
It's, the inputs are whenever the stick returns to neutral and goes back, or whenever it crosses the meridian. So usually what people will do is they will wiggle it above and below the direction that they're trying to estimate.
Okay, and it's like the four cardinals, like up, down, left, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So that is true. SDI. You know what? I think that we... So you're in which one? Which mode? Like up there, up there?
Training. Yeah, up there, up there.
Okay, go load the game. Like load it up. So what I would say is like just like no DI it, and then just okay. There you got one. No DI it and go in front and like try to time it in front of him, like to the way he's facing. So you got one there. You got them. It's just you didn't get out. So you're getting them. We're getting them. We're just not getting out. I think we need to do them like. I think we might need to do. Try slight DI. Because Fox's character bot model is kind of small. Yeah. That'll good.
I'm a lot better at if I do like this way and then I SDI the other way. I'm a lot better at it.
Yeah.
Like that.
Yeah, that works. I'm used to the humans. The humans are sometimes easier, like if you don't DI it. But yeah, for Fox, because of how his body shape, I think we should probably be going to the side. The only thing there is though that then he can just up smash you. So we have to like think. We have to think about this in context a little bit too.
That's so true, actually, because you don't think about that when it's just a robot.
Yeah. That said, we can use the robot effectively. So let's do it one to like one side then the other, and see what happens. What if you tried SDIing up? Like SDIing up, like after like DIing like not all the way to the side, but like maybe like halfway. Okay, so.
Oh, that worked.
Yeah. Because we don't have to just... We have multiple ways to SDI, right? Like, it's not like we just have to go to the side.
I didn't really think that you could just SDI up out of it.
Well, think about, like, here, do it again. Like, look at... And watch how the enemy Fox is moving. Like, he's using short hop, right? So that means that there's a vertical limit to, like, how high his up air hits.
That's true, yeah.
So what we're doing with SDI here is we're like using the SDI input to like get above the second hit of the up air because it has a fixed range based on like the trajectory of the jump.
Yeah, wait a minute, that's crazy.
What do you mean?
This is like exactly what I was looking for, because like now I'm just doing it every time.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
So like here, do you want to know something? Do you want to see something cool?
Yeah, sure.
Let me find a match, a particular match, because there's some really cool things that people have done with SDI, and like I think that like the impression I'm getting is that you're interested mainly in like more conceptual ways, like more structured conceptual ways that you can approach improvement, right?
Yeah.
Okay, let me grab Moki Joshman from Nouns Invitational. So, Nouns Invitational, yes. So this is like so I'm gonna share my screen, and this is the most fucked up shit I've ever seen. Because it's just like so egregious, it's so outrageously good, and nobody has like talked about it since like it happened. But that's fine. I noticed it because I'm not a hack. So, did you see it?
Let me see it again.
Here, I'll slow it down a bit. Like here, let me. So watch this first interaction, this first combo.
Oh!
Right? Now you get it!
Oh!
Uh-huh.
He SDI'd the up smash so he could jump.
Yeah, because like there's not enough here, let's consult the mighty and powerful calculator, because the calculator knows all. Yeah. So like...
That's insane. I never even thought about that.
Yeah, so like let's say we're in a Fox Ditto, and we like... we up smash someone at, like, how much was he at? He was at 25, so he was at 7 going into it. Cool. Actually, this is inefficient. 7. No! Stop it. Alright, cool. So he was about here in the air. So let's do up smash, clean. This is cool. So you'll notice there's almost enough, he's almost, like, able to get out of, like, not get into the knockdown, right? Like, it's so close. But, like, he's on the floor. But if we then go to, like, SDI.
That's so crazy.
Yeah. Technically, it would be ASDI up as well, so it would be, like, here. So he's actually got...
you could just... So, like, you could just, like, hold C-stick up while you're getting hit, and it'll do that?
No, you still have to do the SDI. Like, without the SDI, you go here. So you're still, like, very much on the floor.
Okay.
Like, well, not very much. Like, you're barely, but you are on the floor.
So you need ASDI and one input?
No, the ASDI is just, like, something you get from holding up.
Oh.
This is a given. This is a given along with the trajectory DI. What's not a given is this.
Okay.
This is the timing thing.
Yep. Sure, that makes sense.
But yeah, like, look at that. Like, because, like, I feel like if in any other situation, if Munkey grabs you and gets enough through up smash without this SDI and the Fox Ditto at 0, you're probably taking, like, about 1 quadrillion damage.
Yeah, you're probably dying.
Yeah, well, dying, like, you hope to die. Like, if you die, then it means maybe he didn't clip you. But, like, he might put you in the highlight reel for, like, the next 5 minutes. Because that's what he does. But Josh Fan, very cleverly, very duplicitously, is like, haha, now he gets a counter kick grab.
That's so cool.
Yeah, so I'd say a general rule of thumb, like, if you want to get more out of your practice is, like, go into... You still have the game, right? Go into combo training for me.
Yeah.
Perfect. Yeah, so, like, let's just grab, like, Fox versus some, like, fast faller or whatever. Let's do Falco for funsies. We'll do FD. And we're gonna put him to 30. So, like, L plus, like, yeah, smash DI off. So, down on the D-pad. Yep. So, no, sorry, that's trajectory DI. So, we want random DI, but we want smash DI 0%. Perfect. So unpause, and then we're gonna do L plus up on the D-pad to, like, raise his percent, and we're gonna put him to 30. So I want you to, like, falling up air on him, and then just, like, do a bunch of, like, do a bunch of, like, up moves on him. Like, just do a bunch of, like, up moves on him in general. And I want you to, like, notice, like, if there's any points where he, like, where he, like, is about to, like, yeah, so you see how he, like, landed, like, how after the up air, he's actually actionable?
Yeah.
So what I would suggest here is if you ever see moments like that, where it looks like any moments like that where the opponent is actionable when you're practicing your combos, like just before they hit the ground, that's probably the type a really good, like, situation for you to be aware of. And if you scale the percent down a little bit, like if you were at, like, say, like 28, he probably could get, like, if he was at, like, 27, 25, he probably could have gotten out with a smash DI up. Because it's just, like, a little bit of knockback. So those are the types of things that you can use to, like, to watch for these kinds of moments where these are possible.
Yeah. That's so crazy. It's like when you first start out playing Melee, you've probably had a lot of people talk about, like, when you finally can control your character completely, then you, like, unlock the game that everyone else is playing. I feel like that's what there's, like, another level for that, for understanding, like SCI opportunities like that. Like, it's just, like, a completely different game from everyone else if you have those kinds of things implemented, it feels like.
Well, so the thing that I always find interesting is that, like, people so rarely learn mechanics when it comes to this game. So, like, and I think that we teach this game in a very procedural way, and, like, it's good at some things, and it's bad at other things. I think it's really, really good at getting people. For the people who have a knack for it, it's really good at getting them to, it's really good at getting them out of pools, basically. It's not glamorous, but, like, progression is important, and learning your combo tree is, like, a very effective way to win games. Like, at the end of the day, if you can, it's like, we treat this game like a process, and it's with its best characters, and because they can. And I don't think it's a coincidence that we have like punish being so heavily emphasized, even though this game actually offers a lot of ways out of things. Having said that, if we could, I think that one of the things we miss though is the depth of the options that are available, and some of like the opportunities for interesting outplays that like don't really that might not be immediately obvious. Yeah. Like here, have you ever yeah, go ahead. Yeah. Well, I was gonna ask, like, so this is an old set. Let me grab the Riptide set for a second. Yeah. No, Collision. So I'm just curious, like, so do you, like, in the Fox Ditto, what are your thoughts on lasers?
I like single laser now and then, like one of these. Like one of those.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, like, here's something I want to ask you. So, like, we're in this match here, and I want to, like, we have, like, Cody trying to come back on Munkey, who's been ahead all game. And something that I find interesting about these two and their dynamic is that, like, Cody, like, has these weird he fires these lasers here and there. What do you think the purpose of that laser is?
I have two ideas. The first one is it was a little bit above him, so it would have hit him if he was on the platform or not running. Or it's like to bait an approach, because it's like a kind of close laser comparatively.
That's reasonable. Here's one thing. Notice when Munkey is doing his shines here, notice where he's putting them. So if Munkey were to like shine out of shield there, perhaps, just because, like he's shined out of he's shined in some of these spots as like a part of his movement, right? Like if we take a look at this interaction here, shine, right? That's a movement shine. That's like kind of like out of shield, but also for movement and positioning. This one here too. Yeah. So if Munkey were to do that there, what happens?
It would eat the laser. And probably stuck.
So then Cody wins the game, right? Okay, so, like, this laser is, like, you know, it's a small frame investment to see if you win the game.
Huh.
That's pretty good. Not bad for, like...
Yeah.
There's also one of the most fucked up neutral exchanges I've ever seen in my life, right here.
That's so fire.
So, I want to ask you something.
Yeah.
Can Cody shield drop here?
I don't know. Does like a down air hit the toes?
I'm not asking what he can shield drop into. I'm asking if he physically can shield drop here.
Oh. I think so.
Really? Go to a platform level. Like go to like training lab and just go to any platform level. All right, now I want you to make your shield do what his is doing. So it's now shield drop.
Oh, if you angle it, you can't wait.
Because yeah, like it has to go from like side or up from side or up to down forward.
Oh, yeah.
So he physically is not able to shield drop here. So it actually makes a ton of sense for Munkey to actually hop up and pressure him here. But like but Cody's shielding on a platform to protect, and he's angled down to protect himself from Monkey's up smash. So like it's tricky because like it's the shield suggests, like just the shield being there suggests we don't attack because it's Fox shield drop. But he's angled it down so he doesn't actually have his one frame reversal. Neat, huh?
Yeah, it seems like it worked out. That's crazy.
Well, you see that they play chicken. They're not sure what to do here, so then Cody, like, sees Munkey's shield get small enough, and then, like, cut blammo in a moment. So he plays
Right,
he plays the stalemate better and wins for it.
Yeah, it's true because he really should like go up there because he can't move. I didn't really consider that. You can't shield drop while angling like that.
Yeah, but there's like physical restrictions on the like based on like the inputs we do. So like, this is another way that you can actually like really abuse someone because like, I wonder, have you ever noticed that people like tend to DI the first hit of a sequence to like worse?
What do you mean?
So like if a fox is approaching you with like a nair or something, and you like up smash anti-air him, you notice that they tend to be DIing into you.
Oh yeah, and then they're like, okay, I'm getting hit. I'm gonna DI now. Yeah, I know what you mean.
It's also a physical component because think about what is required for that nair or like for that nair to work. If they're coming at you and trying to like and thinking they're gonna hit you because they've like positioned it properly for for them to be able to catch you, they're holding forward. They're holding forward or forward or down. And all three of those are, and nothing in that range is particularly good at DI at going away from Fox's up smash.
Yeah.
So it's not so much that they're not. It's like it is that they're not ready, but it's also that like for them to be doing their play with the intention of it working, they have to be doing something else.
Yeah, they're already holding forward.
Mm-hmm. So the first DI, so the actions the opponent takes are themselves a commitment in terms of what their DI options are.
That's really sick. Yeah, I think I've definitely like I've known about that, but I don't know if I've seen it in such a cool way that I've been able to abuse it. But now that you put it like that, it seems like very obvious, right?
Oh my god, it's like Sheik 101!
Yeah. That's so true.
Cool, huh?
Wait, yeah, that'll make tech chase, right?
Yeah!
They're already gonna be holding stuff. Holy shit.
Also, like, if against Sheik, remember, like, a lot of her moves are, like, anti-airs or, like, powerful interception tools that come out quickly. Like, they're powerful buttons that, like, hit big areas and, like, punish you for holding in a lot of the time. So, like, no wonder she turtles. Alright, so, in terms of this, I'm making some notes for, like, our key takeaways. So far, yeah, Fox up throw, up air, example, short hop up air has, has a known / limited, fixed range, vertical range, so this is what I have so far. I'm gonna add some other things. So, like, physical, the game. No, this is no games. The game is physical. So the game's physical. So then yeah, stick inputs limit the ability to do other perform other actions. Yeah, stick inputs limit the ability to perform other actions during certain game states. And then we'll do like game states. Shield drop, Cody versus Munkey example. And then we'll do add to that. This also impacts DI quite heavily. As the opponent's initiation move will often have DIs that are required of them to complete the follow through. That their motion is a DI commitment, no commitment that we can use. Like, this is also part of why overshoot F smash with Marth is so crazy, because it's, or like overshoot knee, because like they're usually running away from you, right? So then they just like fly off the same die.
Yeah. I was taught how to play this game by a Falcon player, so he would talk about that.
So with that in mind, I wanted to actually talk about like one last component of it, which is like the rock paper scissors system of the game, because I think that like this is a key thing. So I want to ask you, in your undershoot, overshoot, whiff punish examples, would you agree that there is like a loose rock paper, like a sort of rock paper scissors relationship between those three options?
With punish, undershoot, and overshoot.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say so.
So how does it work? What beats what?
Undershoot probably beats. Let me think about this. Because I'm trying to think about how whiff punish exists in like the trio, right? Because the other two are like proactive, but I feel like whiff punishing is like reactive.
Yeah, but there's like they deal with attack speeds and timing. So here's what I'll do. Let me share my screen one more time. I've got 2 Marths on the screen. So let's do some. Let's experiment for a second. So I'm gonna record. So this is the under. This will have hit. Well, this is the undershooter. So boom, 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 and then this will be our whiff punisher. Okay, so like I would argue that this is like generally how this can play out. With Marth, it's a little bit like more complicated because of his great frame data. But generally speaking, I'd say that whiff punishing is strong into undershooting, because undershooting's whole thing is that it is protecting our space or expanding our territory. But it is a proactive move that is putting up a fence in some way, and it hits an opponent who is standing still or coming towards us. Does that make sense?
Yeah. So if they don't stand still or come towards you, you'll lose.
Yeah. Yeah, so like this is like this here would be like so here we have like the next step of it. So like here we have like one Marth doing like an overshoot F smash, and the other one's like trying to dash dance to punish the undershoot they're expecting. So the idea here is that like the overshooter, like the whiff punishing's whole thing is that it takes a position close to the opponent's like reach, like long tool, like their poking moves, or footsie moves, and we get close to it without actually touching it. Now this can be done in the air or from the ground. Like a big thing in this game is that like a big thing with understanding this game is understanding that like our jumps are often like one of our tools for like doing this. Because as you can see, we could do this like whiff punish. This is still a whiff punish.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like this would absolutely still count, because like the Marth is still doing the same thing here as they're doing here. He's using his movement to go second after the opponent has overextended by going first. But this is also why overshooting beats with the whiff punisher, because overshooting makes an assumption that they're not going to swing, and then aims at the end of their motion. So overshooting hits people moving away from us. Whiff punishing hits people that attack in place, or like whiff punishing is meant to capitalize on people attacking for self-defense. And then finally, like overshooting, undershooting, I think is pretty straightforward. But like, yeah, like their whole thing is we assume that there isn't a fence, and then there is one.
Yeah, the undershooter doesn't place in the game.
Yeah, like we're trying to like do that wave dash for the S dash, and it's like boom. Now, granted, in this game we have CC, so like, you know, but
yeah.
I think that like the key thing with here is like you have, especially as Fox, you have a lot of like Foxes. I think all the top tiers in this game kind of like divide into one of two categories. There's characters who are like good at like all three of them, but they have like one they specialize in. I'd say that's like Marth, Sheik, and Falcon. And then you have like Fox, Falco, and Puff, who are like really, really good at two of them. And then they have one that they're like kind of okay at, but like they can do it, but they'd rather like play to the ones that they're like super good at. Which ones do you think Fox is super good at, in your opinion?
I think Fox is great at with punishing, and I think he is great at undershooting.
Really? So you think undershooting?
I mean, he's fast, so like I could see a case for overshooting. But the only thing that I would think about in that instance is the fact that he has limited range, so he could more easily be stuffed out.
See, it's interesting because I would consider that more of a problem with undershooting. Because like the whole, right? Because like if you're doing this and this, then like you're kind of presenting things to be stuffed.
Oh, true. That's a good. I was just thinking about like how good Bear Shining in place is.
So, yeah, no. But that's that. So the good part of like Bear Shot and like this kind of thing though is that it's a whiff. It's actually a whiff punish in front of an undershoot in my mind. Because like you see what I mean? Like it has like.
That definitely makes sense.
Yeah, but like to me, Fox's biggest strength is like his overshoots, because like the thing about overshoots is that it's more about like what you get off them and how like safe or reliable they are, and like when you get the guess right. And I don't think there's many things that like are better than Fox's up smash, like running up smash, or his like running shine in this, or running down tilt in this regard. Like his move quality on overshoot is really high. The other cool thing about overshoots is that they kind of like play off of like his whiff punishing thing, because like what is a whiff like? After, like, you want, like, against this kind of, like, play pattern, what do you want to do against it? You want to, like, overshoot into him, but, like, Fox is so fast, like Fox is so fast that, like, you really just, like, Fox is, how do I put this? When you have two overshooters go at each other, they usually just, like, cross, like, ships, right? So, in that case, you wind up tying, but, like, Fox is generally okay with tying because it's really just clean interactions he's really valuing, like he really wants to win, because he doesn't want to like trade and like get knocked over or something. So like, you know, the end result being something of like a draw that like where you change positions is usually pretty good for him. The other thing there is that yeah, like he's got his gun. If it's a slower character, like that can actually work really well for him. So
yeah, if you cross up, you can just go back to shooting.
Yeah, exactly. So. Again, I bring this up because, like, this game, I think, what makes the Smash games is that you have this alongside the, like, this is the how you're doing your thing. But then you also have what you're doing, which would be, like, your move, like, whether it's attacks, grabs, shield/crouch are kind of on the same block. And I think you have these two rock, paper, scissors systems kind of running together, like, generally. And that's where, like, that's where the Smash games kind of, like, carve their identity, I think. Because it's not just that you're winning, like, one rock, paper, scissors system. You're actually trying to win two of them. And depending on your character and, like, your character's limitations, you might be better at winning one of them over the other. But yeah, it's like, it's really just, I would encourage you to, like, keep that in, like, keep an open mind, keep that in mind and keep an open mind to what the opponent might be doing when you're, like, playing. And I think that you'll find that some of the more, like, some of the broader concepts, like, you'll start to, like, see patterns with them, I think.
Definitely, yeah.
All right, amazing. So we are at time. But I am curious, how do you feel this went? Like, is this the kind of stuff you wanted?
Absolutely, this is exactly. Oh, I didn't mean to do whatever I just did.
Launch game. Okay, it's all good.
This is exactly the kind of thing that I was looking for, both with the theory and with the actual physical aspect of it, and I'm really happy. Thanks so much.
You're very welcome. So I'm gonna say, like, the last note I'll leave is like undershoot, overshoot, whiff punishing. Keep in mind how how this system works in this game, and try to spot when the opponent is which strat. And which types of openers the opponent is going for. No, the opponent is going for. You will find patterns with certain characters as you internalize this and gather observations. I would say, as a general rule of thumb, the Pokemon are weird and the humans like to undershoot.
Yeah, that makes sense.
All right, amazing. Well, Munkey, this was fun. This was fun as hell, and best of luck on your journey. And yeah, if you have any follow-up questions about these concepts, you know where to find me. Okay?
Yeah, dude. If I ever would like a follow-up session in the future, I'll definitely let you know. Thanks so much.
All right, take care.